it is your buddy. Peace and harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. And we're zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question to start the new year. And by the way, Happy New Year to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We're going to make it the greatest year ever and have it be a healing, happy new year. So, mwah, Happy New Year to you all. It's going to be a great day, a great year. And I really want to get into this great viewer comment, and that is how to shake off the apathy, just sort of the not caring funk after a relationship with a covert narcissist. And so when we talk about really shaking off the empathy and getting apathy and getting energy, it's to understand that apathetic, sort of lackadaisical, hopeless, learned helplessness, sort of passive feeling that you feel where you're really not excited about life, you're not energized, you're not enthusiastic, you're kind of in a blind, a deaf, dumb, and funk, where you're not seeing things that make you happy, you're not hearing things that make you happy, you're not speaking about things that make you happy, you're just sort of in that apathetic, like, I don't really care, whatever happens mode. And this oftentimes, happens when people are empathetic or in relationships with a covert narcissist who is lacking empathy, who is very passive aggressive. They really don't stand up to the plate. They don't take charge. They don't take responsibility. They don't follow through on tasks. Or the covert narcissist who kind of, they really sort of underperform their tasks. They do a half job, or they leave a trail of misery. They injure themselves. They run out of money. They run out of time. They run out of skill. They're just not able to do things. And so by not doing things, then here you go. You have to rescue the situation, jump in with both feet, get your feet wet, get your hands wet, start pulling things together, and then finishing the job. As you notice with a covert narcissist, they sort of, seep out of responsibility. Seep meaning very subtly and very, not undetected, will shriek out or shrink out of relationships. So the time that they're sort of away, they're not present. You might find them always in kind of, meandering into the basement, meandering into the back room, whatever it is that they're doing. They're going to the garage. They're finding a way to sneak a drink, sneak an internet, whatever it is that they're doing. This covert narcissist behavior can be very confusing and get you kind of stumped and feeling, you just don't know why things aren't going. You can't quite put a finger on it because it's so difficult to detect. And the silent treatment that oftentimes the covert narcissist will employ is a way of being very non-communicative. Oftentimes this is a way for the covert narcissist, by lack of communicating, they are communicating disappointment or disapproval or rejection. This is a very hurtful situation because it's not what they say, it's not what they express. All that is sort of bottled up, and you feel like you really don't know this person. And then they will use sort of a covert narcissist silent treatment where they're not really, there to say, good job, or, what about this, or can I help you with that? They're very uncommunicative. They're very not present, but they're present in very specific, sort of in isolated ways or isolated situations. They might pay for something, pay for this, or be present for that, but they're not really sort of communicating. They feel that's all they have to do is just do this very sort of quiet, sullen, non-communicative presence. So what you might equate to the strong and silent type. So by default, they will go into these very passive aggressive patterns. So the apathy, the depression, I feel oftentimes is an empath, someone who's an empath, someone who is empathy and is able to mirror and pick up on other people's feelings. They're picking up on that passivity side, but they're confused by it because they themselves are not that personality type. They can be very affectionate. They can be very loving. They can be great communicators. empaths generally pick up on a lot of energy and then they want to work through it or help people. They're the fixer-uppers of the world. They're the menders of the hurt. They're the caregivers. They're the first aid responders emotionally. They pick up when something is wrong. When other people would just be like, I don't care. If they drink themselves to death, it's not my problem. Or if their big ego does this, that's not my problem. If they're not involved, well, that's not my problem. They just, some people just shrug it off or it doesn't really affect. Someone who's empathetic can pick up when there is a problem. There's something in the air. There's something in somebody's body language. There's something, they're picking up on somebody's communication patterns. So they go, something is kind of not right here. So I want to, as an empath, I want to sort it out and I want to fix it and I want to help them. Even if it involves me negating my priorities, even if it means me negating my needs, even if this takes me 5 years, I will work it out because this is significant, this is important. Especially if this is a significant figure in your life, you'll find that you stay in the trenches a long time locked into that empathy or that trauma bond. Whatever it is that you are staying to, try to help, fix, resolve, make the insecure secure, let them know that they are loved, that they are, adorable and appreciated for the way that they are. Oftentimes an empath will get involved in overreacting or over responding, over providing for this other person's needs, where instead of their needs being a priority or important, this other person's needs and their priorities override and become more important to them. So, but then becomes a one-way giving, a one-way energetic bond. And then the self, the empath, gets very used to emotional starvation, being neglected, and this sort of fogs the thinking so they can't say, you know what, I really didn't get the guidance. I really didn't get the affection. I didn't get the positivity. I always thought this was going to come my way if. I thought things would change when. If I kept doing this, it should equate, A plus B should have equaled C. So I should have gotten the approval, the affection, the love, the eye contact, the smile, the time of day, whatever it is that you were expecting, it just never showed up. You didn't get the coaching, you didn't get the support, you didn't get the words of wisdom. Whatever it is you were trying to develop or cultivate in the relationship, oftentimes you don't realize that it's not that the person is not there for you for the journey. They might be there, prove it to me when. This sort of really, when you look at the covert narcissist, the prove it to me when, in other words, I'll give you approval when this and this, you reach this level, but it's always unattainable. It's always an illusion. There's sort of you're grabbing at a carrot, but the carrot is dangled and it just will never ever be caught. The machine is rigged. In other words, when you're in a relationship with a covert narcissist, you can't just seem to battle it out and have it ever resolved. There's always a feeling of unresolved, untied, loose ends. And so this can give you a sort of feeling of apathy, depression, defeatist attitude. And then it becomes very difficult to then give yourself all the attention, the listening, the empathy to your having empathy and compassion for yourself. So turning it inward, giving it inward, being interested in yourself inward, having nostalgia for yourself inward, everything that you were trying to bestow and give to the covert narcissist that you did not receive, it's time to turn it around and go the other direction. In other words, listen to yourself, be kind to yourself, be gentle to yourself, make the meal for yourself, make the gift for yourself. Begin to give all that care, attention, and affection back to yourself. And then once you do that, the universe and other people in relationships will be able to feed and build that energy back up. And you won't feel guilty, wrong. The guilt comes from not being able, feeling like you can never fix the wounds, the hurts in this individual, which is running so deep. You'll go to the depths of the, depths of the ocean for them. You'll climb the highest mountains, whatever it is, you feel this for them, but it's in the negative. In other words, they can't give it back to you, so you can't enjoy it together and be sort of in that happy mode together. There's always going to be this gap, this disconnect, and feeling of incongruency or dysfunction. So you have to understand that the covert narcissist, where you oftentimes enjoy the needs of others, the covert narcissist, they resent the needs of others. They um, they kind of don't like that. They it's in one ear and out the other. They don't feel it's their job, their responsibility, their place. They just kind of waltz through life, kind of like, this is how I'm supposed to do it. And so you can't be mad, you can't be angry, you can't be resentful. That's just how this person is. Someone who's a covert narcissist, that's just, they don't feel that they should get involved. It's not their place. It's not my place to hug. It's not my place to have a wisdom speech. It's not my place to have a fireside chat. It's not my place to discuss the birds and the bees. It's not my place to help them get educated. Let me know when they're all done and then I'll be there. It's kind of like, they don't feel it's their place. Maybe they received a message early in their life, you're not supposed to hug, you're this. You're not supposed to, do this. They could have very restricted backgrounds. In other words, they were taught, you don't get involved in other people's business. You stay out of trouble. Don't touch this person. Don't look at this person. Don't touch this person. Don't start conversation that'll start trouble. They could have these seeds of their personality, given to them by their parents. And so that's how they bloomed into the person that they are. That's just, you can admire them from a distance. It doesn't mean you have to go climb their branches and go nestle in their trees. With the covert narcissist, it's just, the limbs are made on that tree to hold other things, their feelings, whatever birds that are going to nest up in there. You can't get that close, or you can't sort of become involved in an energetic exchange with this type of person in the way that perhaps your thinking is healthy, which is a two-way exchange. They can satisfy your needs. It becomes very foreign, though, to you if you're so used to giving to the narcissist that eventually you just become verklempt. You just become exhausted. You become depleted. You don't, healthy doesn't feel good. It doesn't have that same, well, if I can't give, then what can I do for a person? So it becomes, you have to find and strike the balance. And so it is important to understand the covert narcissist is sort of kind of passive aggressive, meaning they're going to be shy away from and not be attracted to listening to, understanding, and helping work through others' needs, feelings, etc., the way that an empath does. They look at relationships completely differently. You can't make a peacock out of a gorilla. A peacock is a peacock, a gorilla is a gorilla. You can't, mistake the two. So if you feel you've kind of mistaken the covert narcissist for, to get close in a relationship and you found your needs, then it's time to say, okay, it is what it is. There's nothing wrong with you. No matter what, you had derived from this, that you weren't good enough, you weren't smart enough, you were unlovable, you were rejected, abandoned. Take a look at your perceptions and then change those to complete a better reality. And let it be in its place. That's over there. Allow it to be like on the shelf. But people who are empathetic in relationships with covert narcissists, they don't ever want to give up. They want to keep it going as part of their relationship repertoire because it's so significant to a learning phase. So they've learned so much from it, they want to keep it kind of part of their vernacular. So I definitely understand that. So you do have to understand the passive aggressive and what you're going to get from them or what you're not going to get from them. But oftentimes a depletion of energy is an effect. Shaking your head, I can't believe this is happening again. Here we go again. You're going to go through a lot of that in a pattern with a covert narcissist. Don't let it deplete you, though. Don't let it, get you down. Don't let it get you stuck on the floor, the bench. Don't be, I'm going to constantly be living my life on the bench, waiting for the coach to say, okay, it's your turn now. Come and play. Then it's not going to happen. They're not kind of like leaders in that way. They have very endearing qualities, but there are certain limitations. So it's important to understand There's limitations in these types of people, and I'm okay to let it go, but I'm not going to let their limitations create limitations in me. I'm going to live an expansive and energetic life, and I'm going to live it according to my needs and my vernacular and in the direction that I want to grow. And it's okay to me to grow in another direction, even if it means me getting bigger, moving beyond, seeking others, not necessarily replacing them, but enjoying the relationships of others that can indeed fit the bill and fit you more like a glove. The covert narcissist has a very passive tendency, and you can't really shake that out of them. It is what it is. Let it be. Like the Beatles said, let it be, namaste. Be at peace with how this person is. You can then accept them and then draw yourself into more of a peaceful body. A peaceful intensity will serve you well. You won't be caught up in their deliberate procrastination. The way that they deliberately put things off. They're not really finished the job. They're not really there. That's them. And then you're different. It's okay to be different, not feel guilty, fearful of this, or like feeling resourceless that you can't grow. It's okay to say yes to, and then become and develop the person and have interaction with really your true authentic self, which could be someone who does want to hug, someone who does want to, hold hands, someone who does want to have conversation, someone who doesn't want to feel afraid, someone who isn't a fixer-upper, so you don't have to fix their problems. How does that feel? Does it feel scary? Where would the conversation go if it wasn't always about, how can I fix you? How can I change you? Oh no, we've got another disappointment. We've got another drama. We've got another crisis. Here we go into crisis mode. Maybe the relationships don't have to be into that crisis mode or that fixer-up mode, and you can still have thrill and exhilaration. Oftentimes people stay stuck in these relationships because the healthy doesn't feel exhilarating. It doesn't give you that up high and that down, up high and that down. Eventually things just kind of hum along. And it's okay for things to hum along where you have healthy encounters for a half an hour, 2 hours, an afternoon, an evening, a day, or a weekend. But these healthy encounters should be developed and generated on your own. And so where you're then getting and setting up your standards to be received and delivered upon, which oftentimes are different and going to feel different than a relationship that was damaged or dysfunctional, like that with a covert narcissist who was a procrastinator. I've always wanted to take a weekend off and do this. Why can't we do this? You're feeling that disappointment, that apathy, that, instead say, I'm going to make a commitment this year, 2019, I'm going to take myself on that 3-day weekend. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to pack the holiday. I'm going to pack the car. I'm going to pack for the airplane, and I'm going to do this. I deserve this for myself. You might meet people then while you're traveling. And then so when you're out there, you can then strike up conversation, at the ticket counter, at the ticket booth, walking along, wherever it is that you've wanted to go, but you've been putting off because of the procrastination that has been limiting you from this hurtful relationship. Begin to be deliberate in the opposite. So if they have been deliberately procrastinating, putting this off, it's time for you to be deliberately active. Take deliberate radical action. Book those things. Make those changes. Fix that part of the house. Fix that part of your phone. Get it together for you. And being able to be responsible and accountable to yourself, and then not holding accountable someone who is going to, get into all these deliberations and delays. So the other, and to be able to engage in different types of activities and conversation. It's very important for you to understand if the passivity of the covert narcissist has made you duly passive, it's okay to say, you know what? I'm going to shake this off. I really don't like this lifestyle. I'm going to be comfortable and peaceful. I'm going to begin my new slate with that rather than an anger, a hostility, and isolation. When you talk about starting something new, it's like literally lighting a new candle, getting a new spark, a new flame, And then just as you kind of gaze at that candle, if you light a candle, when you really look at it, you feel fully absorbed and entranced by it. Your goals, your healing should be feeling like that same entranced, sort of focused, soft focus, but yet on the light, on the warmth, on the glow that can move. And, the brighter the light, the stronger the flame, really it can cast so much light that reaches out, 15 feet, 20 feet. How big can that candle go? Can you go and get a large candle? Can you get a recovery gift for yourself that reminds you to stay focused on your future goals with your vision, your eyes soft and focused on that, just like you would a candle flame? And can you take that soft gaze to your everyday activities? While you're doing your job, while you're doing your work, while you're talking to others, while, you're going to the doctor, while you're getting your teeth cleaned, whatever it is, can you bring that into that focus and then that positive manifestation where all your goals and your heart is really hooked, staying in that place and being able to get radical action and then walking into it, not in fits and starts and anger and up and down and I'm sitting, but in a consistent, gentle movement moving forward. So you're following your steps a little bit more gently, a little bit more deliberately, a little bit more completely. So you're actually following through and allowing life to have synchronistic moments for you. So you're able to then receive and then be energized and inspired. So then through the end of the day, the end of the month, you'll be able to say, I am inspired. I am focused. I am living the dream. I am living fulfillment. I am living the happiness. I am feeling the happiness now. I'm content and happy with making my goals and following through. Fear no longer resides here. These are the sort of statements that you can then cultivate and rehabilitate yourself and retrain and recondition, reprogram the mind to be in that space rather than the fight or flight, the paranoia. I call it also resensitizing yourself. Resensitizing is that with all senses. So, looking at, the experience of touch, what elements of touch can you bring into your environment today? How can you, cultivate softer touch? How can you bring texture? Like this. This is a black tourmaline. This is very soft. This helps to dispel negativity and catapult you into the future. It's a very, very soft, but yet dark and radiant. There's a lot of rainbows. This sorcerer stone here is like loaded with rainbows. When you bring it to the light, they're kind of like hidden rainbows. Rainbows at night, so to speak. And it's so very soft and it's very soothing. So what sort of things can you bring into your environment? Like when you're cooking, how can things feel better for you? Can you have a sweatshirt? Can you have something silk? Can you have something fleecy? Can you have something that's silky? Can you have something that's cotton? Something that's breathable, loose, and comfortable? What can you get rid of that does not feel good? It just, no matter why you've been holding on to it, can you get rid of what does not feel good? And can you really bring more into your sense of touch? Can you get a massage? Can you do some of the massage? And I have just some samples here. But, like you can find different self-massage. I really believe that this is therapeutic. But, they've got these beautiful, bear with me one moment. They've got these are like made of Thai wood. And you can get these different massage pieces that can really, work through your muscles. And you can really get the knots out. You can turn this around and use more of a very sharp end or a dull end. And how can you hold this and how can you do this to other people? Help them work through knots on their back, very massaging. How can you get wood, more organic fibers around that are very good to touch? Resensitizing yourself, helping to break up that feeling of apathy, getting things in motion. Even if you're stuck on the couch and you're doing this on your forearm, you're really going to loosen up a lot of tension. If you work with your hands a lot, this, or if you are in the computer, this area of your arm and hand, or if you're always like doing laundry and stuff, it gets very tight. So if you take these and kind of massage along the top of the arm, underneath, in the palm of the hand, you can do this, and it really helps wake up your, you can do it all along your arm. It helps to release the tension. You can find these on Etsy. I call it Etsy, ETSY. And if you type in Thai, I think it's Thai wood massage pieces, or Thai wood massage. I think tools. These are great tools. They make a bunch of them. You can do this. Other ones that they have, where you can really kind of work in, and then you hold it a little bit differently, but it's not stressful to hold. It's not stressful. It's more of a intense sort of calm. There's so much nowadays, keep calm and carry on. Keep calm and do this. You see all those sweatshirts and t-shirts and those stickers that say that. There really is a very important thing to becoming calm. But then going into radical action once you've reached that calm. So the action has to come from that meditative, mindful space, and you'll begin to really get more energized and have more of a long burn, so to speak, to your energy. And then you'll be able to sleep better, eat healthy foods with live enzymes, drinking water, getting hydrated, going for a little bit of walking, getting a Fitbit. I don't do the Fitbits, but I know a lot of people swear by the Fitbits. Getting yourself energized that way. So giving yourself a little bit of a jump start or a positive start, doing some things, planning some things for yourself, booking some things for yourself in the calendar will get you out of that passive funk. Life is too short. You don't want to, as much as I think sometimes people feel after they've been hurt that there's nothing left in life for them. I can't do another job. I can't do another relationship. I can't do another da-da-da. They've boxed themselves out. It's time to think outside of the box for yourself and really start resensitizing yourself. Same thing with the sense of scent. What new scents can you get around? What can you look at Namchaka? Can you go just take a walk at the mall and just look at some different perfumes, or go to a health food store like Whole Foods and see what sort of naturally derived plants and herbs that you like the scent of. What is more gentle to you? Begin to ask yourself more questions. What scents do I like? What essential oils do I like? Or do I like high-end perfumes? Do I like high-end colognes? Do I like essential oils or diffusers? Or do I like incense? Do I like to burn something like sage or Palo Alto stick? Or do I just want to have an open window? Can you get an ionizer, a humidifier, or a dehumidifier if your climate warrants it? Can you open the windows a little bit more? Can you make some curtains? Can you get into sewing and sort of, get a new flow and, spray your curtains with a lot of those spritzers so it gives your room a freshness? What sort of natural fresheners can you do for your furniture or your clothing, or switching, where you do your laundry soap, your bounce sheets? Can you do something different so things have a different and invigorating smell, so it gets you energized? Hold things up to your nose. Actually go to the grocery store and then just begin to smell the roses on your recovery date. You don't have to buy them. You can smell, 20 stacks of roses, and it's free. Free smells, guys. Maybe then buy one for yourself and get yourself a little rose. Get yourself a picture and then make a very creative centerpiece for your meals. You can do this even if you're alone or independent, single. The rest of your senses. Make sure you don't skip your senses. hearing? What things can you go? Can you get concert tickets? Can you play music? Can you play soft classical music? Or maybe you want something more, upbeat to get you energized. Maybe you just want some peace and silence. Maybe you want some Tibetan bowls just playing in the background, or crackling fires. They have all these, great things you can do now and play, like, crashing waves or crackling wood fires. Like, there's so much that you can do to enhance your day and enhance your senses that can get you energized. Don't get caught up in the empathetic, mirror neurons of the passive aggressive covert narcissists. Don't be afraid to separate and distinguish yourself and define yourself by the positive, the energizing that's good for you. The world will delight in your change and transformation. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace out. Love you.